Hi everybody. So in this video, we're going to look at expanding brackets involving surds. So we're going to work through these set of examples, and then we'll try some exam style questions at the end. If you want to work along with me in this video, you can download a copy of a PDF from my website. I'll leave a link in the description below. Okay, so for question A, we need to expand out the root 2 with the 1 plus root 2. So if we draw some arrows, we'll have root 2 times 1, and then the root 2 times itself. So when you multiply root 2 by 1, we get root 2. And then the root 2 multiplied by the root 2 gives us root 2 squared. And when you square the square root, these will cancel. So we're left with the square root of 2 plus 2. Okay? For part B, we'll expand out the root 3 times 1. This will give us root 3. And then we'll have the root 3 times the 2 root 3. This will give us minus 2, and then the root 3 multiplied by itself will give us squared. Square and the square root will cancel, so we've got root 3, and then the 2 times the 3 will give us the 6. Part C, so now we need to multiply everything in the left bracket by everything in the right bracket. So if we begin with the 2 times the 1, this will give us 2. Then we'll have the 2 times the root 3, this will give us plus 2 root 3. And then root 3 times 1 will give us root 3. And then the root 3 times root 3, this will be root 3 squared. And again, these will cancel. So now we can add the integers. We've got the 2 plus the 3. This will give us 5. And then we've got 2 root 3's here, plus 1 more. So in total, we'll have 3 root 3's. Okay? And then for question D, if we have the 2 times the 2, this will give us 4. And then the 2 times the positive root 5, this will give us 2 root 5. And then the negative root 5 times 2, minus 2 root 5. And then the negative root 5 times the positive root 5. Now this negative and positive will give us a negative, and then we'll have the root 5 squared, which we know is just 5. So our integers, 4 take away 5, will give us negative 1. And then we've got plus the 2 root 5 minus 2 root 5. And these will cancel to make 0. So we're left with negative 1. Okay? In example 2, well, now we need to simplify. So before we expand out a bracket, I'm going to simplify the third inside. So if we have 3 root 2 multiplied by 5 minus the 2, and then the square root of 8 is the same as the square root of 4 times the square root of 2. I showed you in a previous video how we simplify surds. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. So the square root of 4 we know is 2. Then we've got root 2 here. This will be 5 minus 2, lots of 2 root 2. Now remember, this is the root 8, but it's simplified. So we'll expand out the bracket here. We'll have 3 root 2, lots of 5 minus the 2 times the 2 will give us 4, root 2. So it's always worth simplifying a bracket before you expand out the outer bracket. Now we've got 3 root 2 times 5, which will give us 15 root 2. And then we've got 3 root 2 times 4 root 2. Well, the 3 times the 4 will give us 12. And then root 2 times root 2 will just give us 2. So we can simplify this as 15 root 2 plus the 24. And again, for question B, before we expand out the bracket, I'm going to simplify this root 27. This will be root 9, root 3, where 3 times 9 makes 27. And the square root of 9 is 3. So we have root 3 multiplied by 3 root 3. This is our root 27 minus 1. When we expand that with bracket now, we've got root 3 times root 3, and this will just give us 3, multiplied by this 3, this will give us 9, and then root 3 times 1 will give us negative root 3. And then for question C, well, because we're squaring this, we're going to multiply it by itself. So 1 minus root 5 multiplied by 1 minus root 5. We'll multiply out the 1's. Then we'll have 1 times negative root 5. And again, with this term. And then we'll have a negative root 5 times the negative root 5. These negatives will make a positive. And the root 5 squared will just give us 5. Now we've got 1 plus 5, which is 6. And then minus 2 root 5. Okay? So I hope that's given you an idea on how we can expand out brackets involving surds. Let's try some exam style questions. Okay, so in question 1, we've been asked to work out the area of this rectangle in the form of a plus b root 2. We've been asked to work out a and b. For question 2, we've been asked to expand out this bracket and to show it simplifies to an integer. So do you want to try these questions yourself? You can pause the video, and when you come back, we'll go through the work solutions. Okay, so I'll come back if you had a go. So for our rectangle, we'll multiply the length by the width. And then we'll expand out the 3 times the 1. This will give us 3. The 3 times 2 root 2. Well, 3 times 2 will give us 6. And then we'll have a root 2. Then we'll have root 2 times 1, which is just root 2. And then we need to multiply root 2 by 2 root 2. So if I just work this out over here, we've got root 2 times 2 root 2. When we multiply these together, we'll get root 2 squared. And then we'll times it by this 2. So we'll just get 4. And I'll put this over here. Okay? Now we'll add our integers. With 3 over 4, this will give us 7. And then we've got 6 root 2's here, plus 1 more. So 7 root 2. So A will be the 7, and B will be this 7 here. Okay? For question 2, well, before I expand out a bracket, I'm going to simplify this root 8. And we know the square root of 8 is the same as root 4 root 2. And the square root of 4 is 2. And this is the square root of 8. So now we'll have 7 root 2 minus the 2 root 2 all squared. Now I don't need to expand this out because I can simplify what's in the bracket. We've got 7 root 2, take away 2 root 2. This will give us 5 root 2, which we're going to square. 5 squared will give us 25. And root 2 squared will just give us 2. So we'll have 50. Okay? Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found that useful. If you did find that helpful, please like and subscribe. And you can download the full lesson and the PDF that accompanies this video from my website, mrmathematics.com. I'll leave a link in the description below.